Thomas, good to see you. No, this is a pre-match press conference, but it almost feels like a post-match interview as well. 1-0 victory over Bolton. What's your reaction?
I'm pleased. Everybody's talking about that our away form is not that good. I think we, proved them wrong again. I think it's a good decision. I'm pleased with the decision that is given, and first and foremost, I feel sorry for the Bolton fans, staff, and players because they are in a mess, and it's not nice to be in a situation like that. And Bolton as a club is one of the bigger one in England with a massive history. So I hope really deep down, because I don't think any club should be in a situation like that they can turn around and come out on the other side.
In your time in football, have you experienced anything like this?
I think there's been from Denmark. I can speak. There was one or two clubs who went bankrupt and need to put on the administration. They went bankrupt and have to go all the way down to the lower leagues and then build from there again. So it's never nice when you see clubs coming in those situations.
The history books will show it's a clean sheet and a 1-0 win. We've just been speaking to Romain Sawyers. He says he wants to speak to the powers that be here to claim the goal. How will you have a say in who gets that goal?
I think that will be a fight between Romain and Neil Mopai. And I think he'll win, Neil Mopai.
Is it maybe something that you could award to the fans, perhaps? Can you do some sort of gesture like that?
Yeah, of course. Definitely. For all the travelling they've done this year, that would be a nice thing to do, definitely.
If we just rewind to last week, you've had that enforced week off. Can you explain from a Brentford point of view what actually happened from your perspective and how you kept the players in the loop and what was going through your mind at the time?
It was, of course, more or less breaking news on Sky that the game could be called off last Saturday because the players went on strike. The Bolton players want to go on a strike. And then it was confirmed that the game was postponed Friday night, 10:30 or something like that, and then we need to rearrange training and stuff like that and travel back. And then, of course, there's been a ongoing talk with Lisa from our administration, Cliff and Phil, and they're talking to the EFL and stuff like that. What is going to happen? We didn't know if the game was played Wednesday, it was going to be pushed forward and stuff like that. But you know what? It's not the end of the world for us. I think it's just a thing we need to deal with. I think there's a lot worse things out there in the real world that's happening. So yeah, it is what it is.
The knock-on effect, I guess, is the players and the management staff and the fans. Everyone will be expecting the season to end on the Sunday.
Yeah.
So you make arrangements, don't you? But you're effectively on holiday. So had the players, we've spoken to Romain that he had arranged a holiday for the day after.
Yeah.
Had you or any of the other players done that?
No, other players have done that as well, because we had an agreement that Monday was the last day for meetings and stuff like that. So other players have arranged holidays as well, but things happen and sometimes you need to change plans. So maybe they should have changed plans, but luckily enough, now anybody is happy, and that's good.
Because there would have been a situation had the game gone ahead, only 2 days between the two fixtures. That surely would have come into your thinking as well, wouldn't it, about the team you select?
Yeah, but of course we needed to think about that, but now we don't have to think about it anymore.
They can go away.
Yeah, they can go away.
It's fine. Just on the Bolton players and their decision, you say to strike, not to play. I know it's difficult to put yourself in that scenario, but can you imagine what you would have done in that situation?
Yeah, I completely understand them. Completely, they have mortgage to pay, players, staff, everybody, and I think they have been patient for a long time throughout the season. It's not the first time there have been issues. So sometimes when you need to make a big statement to get something through, and they did that, and then the game was cancelled. But anyway, I don't know if they're going to get their money or not. So I think basically it's just a sad story for football.
Does it highlight the importance of a good owner, a stable owner, and also in a situation that you find yourselves in, that you don't have to deal with something like that?
Yeah, massively. And again, we are privileged in Brentford. We have a fantastic owner and a very stable club and situation, and that's why we can compete with other clubs. So again, I feel honestly very sorry for everybody from the Bolton family who's involved in this situation. But it's not the first time that things happen. Clubs have been under administration of struggling massively because of finances, and I think there's no other work, or in the real world they could never happen. The clubs will be bankrupt so many times, so we need to find a way out of this.
These 3 points take you into the top half of the championship table. You've got Preston in your last game at home. A win could potentially put you in the top 10. How big an incentive is that for you and the players to finish in that top 10?
We want to finish as high as possible, and we like the fact we've been in the championship for 5 seasons, and they would like to finish all of them top 10. So it'll be a very nice finish of a remarkable and tragically and crazy season in many ways. So that'll be a nice touch to finish great at Griffin Park.
You mentioned the season. Have you experienced anything like the season you had here at Brentford?
No. I think it's very rare histories in a situation like this, with everything that happened, everything from the Bolton game to Robert Broben tragically the death to the roller coasters up and down in good performance, bad performance. So it's been a pretty crazy season.
And then looking ahead to next season, you'll have your first pre-season with this squad of players. How important is that for you, and does that give you the confidence you can push on for next season?
Oh yeah, massively. I would say, because if you look only at all the football and the performances and what we've done this year, I think we learned a lot about the team. What is our I'm going to say top level, because I think our top level is to top 3 in this league, 100%. But is this inconsistency throughout the season and this defensive mindset? So the bad spell learned us a lot. If you have a lot of success, you don't learn that much. It's in the bad moment you learn a lot. And we need to show that all the things we learned from this season, we can put that right in the preseason and improve and go forward. And we have a strong belief that we can develop to be an even stronger side next year.
Perhaps your most outstanding performer, the man who's got so many goals for you this season, Neil Morpay. You mentioned him just before. Does it feel like a double-edged sword almost? Like, it's great for Brentford that he's doing all this, but now he's in the spotlight. There'll be other clubs no doubt interested in him. How confident are you that he can be part of your squad, and he will be part of your squad next season?
I would say I think there's maybe 5 or 6 clubs that are not selling clubs in this world. I think everybody else, things can happen, but I hope massively that he stays. I know he loves playing for Brentford. I know he loves the fans. I know he loves everything about the club. So he'll be more than happy to stay. But you never know what's going to happen. And Neil is fantastic. I'm close to have a man crush on him. He's unbelievable, in top mentality and abilities, and he is wow.
I think someone else who might have a man crush on him as well is Dean Smith, though. Is that a bit of a worry because of the relationship?
Then you need to choose, That's when you are in the bar, there's 2 nice persons there, then you need to choose. No, of course, he knows him very well. But, that's speculations. I know one thing, we have a contract with him. He's very happy here. He's playing on Sunday, I can promise that. That is one of the players I know starts. And I cross my fingers that he's here next year.
Thank you for your
You're
time.
welcome.
Cheers.
Welcome.
Whew, should we just call it down? Thomas, if we can just go back to the Bolton situation very briefly, and you've already mentioned it. How important is it to be understanding and sympathetic of those who are really directly affected with this? Bolton players, staff members, people whose livelihoods rely on that football club, who may not be easy to go and get a playing contract somewhere else. I mean, that with all of this, that's the sort of story that we, I suppose, don't want to forget. And I know you're a man obviously who's steeped in football, that you understand that, don't you? I mean, to sort this out. It affected you, as you said, but maybe not as much as it will affect other people.
No, I think if we honestly, yes, of course, all of us felt it was a little bit inconvenient, and we thought, oh, discomfort and all that, but that is, excuse me, nothing compared to the fans who've been there. We're fans of Brentford. We've been a fan of the club for 50 years. You know, they care about the club, the community, everything. This is the whole life. I think those are the person that we need to care about and feel sad about. Of course, again, staff members. There's maybe staff members who work there for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years again. So those are the person that we know that their world is more or less, tear apart. And of course the players as well, because what is the status? Are they? What will happen? So I think it's one of those sad stories that are in football, and it's not, we don't know exactly what happened. We just know one thing: they don't have enough money now. So it's easy to pick on them and say they took some bad decisions and used too much money. But in general, I think that this is one of the biggest issue in football. That yes, there's a lot of money, but we need to make sure we use them well.
Have you spoken to Phil Parkinson? Because obviously, as a fellow manager, he's had to manage a very difficult situation over the last few months. I would imagine players not getting paid, trying to keep a team up. I mean, I suppose you have sympathy. You understand what he must have been through.
Oh yeah, massively. I think personally, I think Phil has done a top job. First, they got them promoted, kept them in Championship last year. Even last year, there were some issues and problems and rumours about that. And this year, I think they were right in there. Still have a chance to survive. And then you can see the last couple of months, of course, when you not get paid. There's been a tough time for a long time. It's difficult to stay in there and do everything you can every single day. So I feel massively for him and the staff as well.
So it is the last game of the season now on Sunday, and there is a chance to finish in the top 10 for the 5th successive year since promotion into this league. And after everything you've been through, that would be a decent return, I think, because it's been a tough year.
Yeah, I agree. If that could happen, I'll be very, very pleased. I think somebody tells that the table never lies, or that's the status. But I think if you see some of our performance, it's bang up there. So it's a little bit about that inconsistency we talked about earlier. But also with everything that happened. I've never experienced something like this. I think it'll be well done, Brentford. Big on the value, togetherness. In tough times we stood together and we actually managed to get through a tough moment or tough moments. And to finish top 10 will be massive from a small club like us.
And from your point of view as well, you say it's been some challenges. Will that help you moving forward as head coach of this football club, and what you take into the pre-season and towards next season? What you've learned. I mean, you're constantly learning as a coach. I know you are.
Yeah. I think we are learning every single day about the players, staff, the league, everything, the team, and definitely that bad spell that showed us a lot of first who we are and how we got out of it, but also what we learned from it. Which we need to take into next season to improve as a team, because in fairness we're not that far off. I think everybody is agreeing we have top quality players, and some of the football playing is fascinating, but it's also about the defending side of it, and there's culture, mindset that we need to work hard on to improve the side, and then I think we have a chance next year.
What kept you sort of calm? What kept you sort of unflustered as much as you possibly could during the season? What are the important factors that help you ground yourself during the bad times, not just keeping your feet on the ground when things are going well?
I think I've experienced something similar in my former club as a head coach. We had a run of 8 games without a win. We experienced it last year under Dean Smith. The first 8 games we didn't win. And I think there's a history of clubs in Championship every single year where they have spells of 8, 9, 10 games where they only have 1 win or very few wins, because it's a relentless league. So that's one thing. We know it can happen. Two, we know what we are doing. We believe in the style of play, in the principles we have, and the culture we have. Of course, we need to push different buttons to get out of the bad spell. So that was keeping me calm. And then maybe always the next game. Okay. So it's not easy, but we did everything we could to get out of it. And the most promising, biggest satisfaction was that we gone from 1 win in 10 to unbeaten in 10. That shows that we did something right.
Yeah, and your relationship, I suppose, with the players is important. Romain talked about how he's built a very good relationship with you as a head coach. Those important relationships with senior players is important, isn't it?
Yeah, I think in general it's always difficult to have a close relationship with 25 players and staff and that we go so quick. But there's a few key players that you need to build a closer relationship. It's just like in a normal company where you have some leaders you speak more to, or some key staff members, because they hopefully can get your ideas out in the team. So no, that's really important.
I suppose people want to be involved in the last game of the season. Now it is the last game of the season, as many as they can, and it could be quite an entertaining one, I would have thought, because you can cut loose, you can show off your skills, you can get that win that you want and finish the season positively.
Yeah, I think again Preston have had a top season. I know the last 6, 7, 8 games maybe they haven't got that many points as they maybe should, but they had a spell where they were close to push for it, and I think on their day, I think Preston is a very entertaining, high pressing team with big intensity in the way they play. And we know at Griffin Park it could be absolutely magically and rock and roll on our day. So let's hope we create that game. And we have last time was 4-3 for them. Let's have a 4-3 win for us.
A final couple of questions. One then, so lots of people have got lots of credit obviously for goal scoring and various. What would you say has not necessarily been as recognised outside the football club by us in the media or the fans, but inside the football club you recognise as being a strength, as a positive this year?
A player or
a group of players, or somebody, is it an individual who maybe doesn't get recognised, or just an approach from a more generalistic point of view?
That's a big question. The last
Sorry.
one, one player. It's a good question. If you should say one, maybe on top of my head, maybe it could be Camo.
Yep.
Camo Coccio. I think he's on his day. He's the glue in the team. Everything go through him, defensively, offensively. So I think he's been one of the players where everybody can see he's a good player and has some top performances. Football people know that. But he's not the one who score the most goals or make the nice assist or win the most headers. But he's just there and just getting everything together.
And will you get a break in the summer? You're looking forward to having a break? I bet you are, aren't you?
I need a break. I think everybody does. I think the next week will be a lot of planning for the pre-season, and then there'll be 3 weeks where I think I'll just recharge batteries, and then we are crazy, football people. So I will start looking players, planning again, and then ready to go again.
And the transfer window shuts early August, so you'll be trying to get through to early August as quickly as possible, won't you? So that Neil, people like that don't go.
Could it close 1st of July? Would be preferable.
Yeah.
No, we're confident. We know we recruit very well. Mm-hmm. So we know if we lose a player or two, we'll get 1 or 2 players in with top level quality. So I'm confident. I trust the people behind, and we have a discussion for a long time. We still have every single day. So we'll be strong no matter what when we start next season.